Cynthia, I'm going to start. I mean, there's delving into a movie set in and around a kind of family at a big event where kind of home truths come out and feuds are ignited. It's just always so enjoyable. What do you think it is about that kind of stomping ground that makes such kind of compelling films and sort of TV shows?
Well, a wedding is always inherently an interesting setup for both laughs, love, celebration, but also a lot of sort of like tension and resentment and inevitably at least one drunk person. So I think it's a great setup, and the title I think already just hooks you in, because I think when you hear The People We Hate at the Wedding, you immediately have those people in your mind, and everybody has those people in their mind. So I remember when I saw the title, I thought, oh, that's hilarious, and I need to know who these people are. So I think, we really do a really good job, and it just so happens that in this film and with the character that I play of Eloise, it's my wedding. So, I was excited to, get to have an English countryside wedding and see how debauched it was going to turn out to be when it was time.
And the answer is very. So how was it returning to London? I know, do you get to come back? I know you were born here, but do you get to come back? Do you still have family living over in London?
Yes, my mother lives in London. I'm back all the time. And this was my first time filming in London. So it was kind of a nice full circle moment for me because, born in London, but obviously raised in the United States. And so I never get asked to play British characters. I don't think it's necessarily what people think of when they hear me or know me from other projects. So just to get the chance to play this sort of posh British woman, I took it on as a challenge because I thought, I'm going to have to work extra hard for this. And basically before I met any of the cast, I thought, they should hear me as this character of Eloise. I don't want them to hear me as myself. So I sort of put on my British accent and sort of gave them that version of myself so that by the end of filming, I think they were so used to hearing me as a Brit that when they finally heard me as myself, I think it was kind of a bit of a shock moment for them.
Did you get to take your mum to set at all?
I didn't. My mom will get to watch the film along with everyone else. But yeah, I think in a lot of ways, to me, the film, in addition to the story that it's telling, is also this sort of love letter to London, because you see all these landmarks and iconography, and it makes you want to sort of hop on a plane and go. So it's a sort of very romanticized, idealized version of all these places a lot of people know of the city, and we filmed Fast and Furious all over the place, so you're going to see a lot of landmarks in the film as well.
Talking of landmarks, we see Taco Bell as well, because during emotional duress and desperate need to kind of just stop and think, that's where your character obviously went. What's your real life equivalent? Where would your family find you?
That's a great question. I don't know if it would be Taco Bell. Maybe Pret. That'd be like that. It's not quite a Taco Bell, but I mean, I'm always down for pret a manger. So, probably find me there crying into like a sandwich or something.
I remember I spoke to you briefly on the red carpet for the Lord of the Rings. And that was always exciting at a kind of red carpet event, because there's always that kind of sense of what if, having not shared it yet with many audiences, there's an element of the kind of unknown. But now a few weeks have passed. How's it been sharing it with fans and speaking to people about the show? Because we're getting recaps now of episodes, the sort of dialogue has begun. So can that part of the experience be enjoyable when you get the chance to actually talk about the thing you've made finally?
Yeah, it's definitely been a relief. I mean, I think for me, not just from the audience's perspective of, all of the secrecy we have with the project, but even people in my life. A lot of my family and friends didn't really know the details of, what I was filming and plot points and, what I sort of experienced. So now I can point to the screen and say, well, that was my first day, and that's the day that this happened. And also just finally share this story that we all worked so hard on making, because we put a lot of our heart and soul into it. So I'm happy that it's getting the reception that it's getting, and hopefully people keep watching it into the end of the year. I know a lot of people associate Lord of the Rings even with around Christmas time and the holidays. So hopefully it's not spoiled for those who are still waiting to do a binge down the line.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Best of luck with the release of the show, of the film. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thanks, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys! Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.